Today's video we are going to discuss a problem where we actually have a set of strings which are comma separated or some delimiter separated, but you still want to have a slicer or a filter on the individual value. So like in this case you have this string which is a comma b comma c comma d, a comma c comma d, and there are certain values, but you still want to filter. When you select a, you should only get the names which contains a, like row 2, 3, 4 and 5. When you select b, you should get 2 rows which is basically 2 and 5. In this manner you want to filter. Now what happens is, one of the solutions which we give is basically you split this column by delimiter, but when you split this column by delimiter, these values will further divide into that many rows, and then your addition problem would be there. So now what's the solution of that particular problem? Now that way also have one solution where we can do it, but what I have done here is I came out with a different solution where we are going to take an approach of having a slicer which is going to take care of these things, and we actually need a slicer also here which contains unique values like a, b, c, d. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a slicer, and now this time around we will avoid our recommendation of not having a many to many join and having a one to many join. So we are going to avoid that recommendation and try to solve this problem. So let's jump out into Power BI and load this data. So I'm going to copy paste and load this data. So I'll go to Power BI and I will go to the home tab, and under the home tab I'll go to enter data. I click on the enter data, and I already copied my data and I will paste it here. Now let me call this table as data. Okay, so I got this, and after that I'm not going to load, I'm going to directly go to the edit mode. Now advantage of going to edit mode that I can do the transformation. Now to do the transformation, what I need to separate out this column. Now the way to separate out is, usually we'll recommend you to add as a new query, and it will have all the steps from the previous one. Okay, the complete table will be loaded, and then we say to table. Now this is the usual way we create a separate outing a column and creating table. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a little bit different way, because in the beginner series, if you remember, we already covered how to create table from different manners. So we will create a kind of a reference table, so which keep on updating from the original table. So let's create a blank query. Now in this blank query, what we are going to do is, let's say open advanced editor, and we will say table from columns, and then we go here, and then it wants a list. In that list we'll go give data, and we have in the data we have name, so we'll give this, and then we need to give the set of names there. So again we will go here and we'll give it as a name, and let me say done. It's data, it's not date. Okay, so we got it. Now what I want to duplicate this column. So instead of right clicking and saying duplicate this column, one more thing I can do is I can again take this column data.name, because it's a list anyway, and column table name and column name, when you give together, it acts as a list in Power Query. So column acts as a list, so that's why we are able to do. And then we can call it as a we can call it as key, isn't it? That's a key for us, and why it will become key, I'll let you know. So now I got the two columns, and what I'm going to do here is, now I'll go and split it. So I'll say split by delimiter, and here I'll go and open the advanced option. So each occurrence, first of all, comma separated, each occurrences, no light left, and then in the advanced, not into columns, I say split it into the rows. And then there are chances there could be some duplicates. Right now there might not be any, but just for this to be on the safe side, go ahead and say remove duplicates. So we remove the duplicates, and let's call I want to call this table as name, so I'm going to delete this table which I have created previously. If you want, you can use that one, and let me double click and call it as name. Now I got this, and I'll say close and apply. Once I say close and apply, I'll come back to Power BI Studio, the visualization studio, and then here I'll go to the relationship tab. Now here you will see already there is a relationship one to many. Now name supposed to be my dimension, which is on many side, and my fact data is on one side, because name, that the unique values are only existing there. But that's unique because right now we entered the unique value. There could be non-unique combinations there. So ideally it would have been great that it would have been a many to many relationship. So let's say, but what we are going to do is right now we are going to manually modify it. So we are going to go here and then we are going to make it many to many. Okay. And please remember, this join should always be in a kind of a unique column, like this name start repeating, then have a index column and then do it on that. Try to do this join on the unique column. That would be much better. But I'll make it many to many, and the direction of the filter, I'll take it from single from names to data. So in many to many from names to data, I made this direction. Now what I'm going to do is visualization. So always what we do is when we have this dimension, I always recommend you use the dimension into the visualization. But this time around I'm not saying that to you. I'm saying have the visualization from the fact itself, or you need to have a dimension name, then have it from somewhere else. Now we go and put this key column and make it as a slicer. Now you filter A, you get these values A. If you filter B, you got these. Let's filter B and C together. So control and B and C. Now the values are coming correct. Let's see if there is any duplication happening. 40, ABCD is 40, AB is 40, and CD is 60, and ACD is 30. So there is no duplication. Now in case there is a duplication which is happening and you want to avoid that, I'll tell you the method for that. Now because of the modeling or because of some kind of formula, other dimensions, in case something happens, let's say total value if we want to get, and if there is by mistake there is a duplication, so we'll say SUMX summarize data name comma data value and then sum up value. We'll use this kind of a measure. So we are forcing a distinct of the values and then we are going to have it. So again, in this case, it is showing the same results and there is no duplication which is happening by the way we solve this problem. So this should work out in this case. But now you know what is the way to do it. So go ahead and try this out. Thanks for watching this video. Thank you.